Vamos a poner primero el caso del...
Let us begin by considering a case in which a marked inequality exists in the entrepreneurial and negotiating abilities of the two parties. We will think of the housing market. Let us imagine a house and a widow whose husband has just died in a tragic accident. It happened just 2 weeks ago, and he has left the widow with 3 small children, and also with a mortgage and a huge loan he took out for his company. The loan must be repaid within the next 2 weeks, or the widow's property will be seized. In short, the widow is in a desperate situation. She has to sell the house somehow. She is the potential seller of the house. Everyone can imagine those circumstances, right? Okay. Now, suppose I am walking through the neighborhood and I see the house and I say to myself, "Hey, this is the house I was born in. I spent my childhood here. How I would love to own it. What I wouldn't give to buy it. I'd give anything. I spent the happiest years of my life here. I am the potential buyer, and I am terribly interested in the house." Notice that we are creating this hypothetical situation and contrasting the circumstances of the potential buyer, who is extremely excited about the house, with those of the seller, who is desperate. Well, we're going to look at different scenarios. Let's imagine I say to myself, "I'll go right over there and see if there's any chance, but I'd better not get my hopes up. There probably won't be. Whoever lives there probably doesn't want to sell it. And why would they? That would be an unusual stroke of luck. Anyway, I'll ring the bell. Ding dong! What do you think will happen if I am a real expert in the business world, and I do not rush? I keep my cool, and I think, let's just see what happens, what the atmosphere is like. I certainly won't put all my cards on the table right off. I'll just ask a casual question or two. What will happen if the widow has no negotiating ability or entrepreneurial spirit? Or if that day she just feels clumsy and she opens the door in tears, dressed all in black, with a desperate, shaken look on her face. "Oh, yes? Hello, good afternoon. Is this a bad time? Boo-hoo-hoo. What's wrong, Mom? Boo-hoo. My husband died 2 weeks ago. He did? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I would not have intruded on you if I had known. No, come in. Would you like something to drink? No, Mama, I don't want to disturb you. I simply couldn't. Oh, you can't imagine what I'm facing. My husband has just died. The bank is threatening foreclosure, and I have to pay back a loan as quickly as possible. I'm in a desperate situation. Now, if I have a minimum of negotiating ability, what do you think will happen? What direction do you think the price will go in if this poor woman is so clumsy? I'll say, "Oh no, oh dear, you poor thing, what a terrible situation. I was just passing by and I stopped because I got lost." All a lie. And I was hoping to ask directions. So, you say your situation is desperate. Oh dear, you poor thing. How much is it you need? Well, the mortgage is 50 monetary units and the loan is another 50, so 100 would get me out of this mess. 100? Hell, I was ready to pay 3 times that much, 300 monetary units, and she says 100 would get her out of her mess. I've got her. So I say to her, "What a shame. Well, I'll be going, Mum. Best of luck. What a shame. I've won the lottery. You know, actually, I'd try to pretend a little. Wouldn't want to be too obvious. You know, I really feel for you. Maybe I could help you out. Maybe even find somebody. You say you need 100. Well, maybe... Oh, I don't know. I just might be able to find somebody willing to pay 100. But then again, the market looks pretty bad. I really don't think we'll find anybody. Boo-hoo-hoo. And then, finally, well, look, I think I can afford it myself. 100 monetary units. I reel her in and we sign the agreement. Note the glaring imbalance in negotiating ability. So, given the potential seller's clumsiness at negotiating, the price will tend toward 100 monetary units. Remember, it cannot be less than 100 because then the deal will not be closed. A deal always means both parties come out ahead. Still, the needle on the scale, the price, will tend to move toward the lower limit. Actually, for people in the widow's situation, the smart thing to do is exactly the opposite. If you desperately need to sell, the cardinal rule, and you can learn nothing more practical in an economics class, is not to show you are desperate to sell. So, what the widow should do is to put on her most elegant, colourful suit, keep a stiff upper lip, shed no tears in front of others, go get her hair done with the money she has left, make herself up well, and avoid showing she has any urgent need to sell. Observe how radically different the scenario is if I ring the bell, ding dong, and I see this lovely woman. Hello, how do you do, ma'am? You see, I was just passing by and... Oh, you'll never believe it. What is it? It's love at first sight. What do you mean, love at first sight? Well, you see, I was born in this house. You don't say. And how long ago was that? I bought the house 10 years ago. It was 25 years ago, and you just can't imagine. It would make me so happy to... At this point, the widow is thinking, here's my chance. Also, it turns out I won the lottery not too long ago. And well, I'm actually looking to buy a house, and my dream would be to buy this one. Now the widow thinks, good heavens, I'm the one who's won the lottery. This is my buyer. Indeed. Notice how things are reversed now. She does not let on. She's a sharp entrepreneur. She keeps a stiff upper lip. The visitor is the one acting naive and putting all his cards on the table. So, now what direction do you think the price will go in? The widow will say, well, that's nice. If you'd like, I can show you around the house. But please understand, this is very unusual. You've arrived out of the blue. I love this house, and I'm not thinking of moving. That's all a lie. She wants to sell it. Moving is the furthest thing from my mind, and with the way things are right now, I really don't want to move. Won't you reconsider, ma'am? I will be willing to pay you a large sum of money. No, no. Even if you promise me the moon, I am not interested in selling. What a rotten lie. She's willing to sell it for 100. Oh, what a shame. Listen, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And then, as he is leaving, the lady says to him, as if doing him a favor, wait, you've touched my heart. I can see you're a good person, and if it means that much to you, perhaps I could think it over. But no, I really don't want to sell. No, wait, I can offer you up to 300. In this case, with the negotiating roles reversed, notice the direction the price has gone. The needle on the scale has moved to 300. If both parties are good negotiators, we would expect the deal to be closed at a price more or less in the middle. Another typical example is that of used car salesmen. I will never forget something that happened to my father. My parents were thinking about buying a car. I was very little, and I overheard the typical conversations at home. Well, I've just seen this model. I like that model, etc. So, my father made his decision and he went to the dealership. But he made a terrible mistake. He said to me, since you're so excited about it, why don't you come along? Well, here's what happened. My father walked onto the lot, and my dad, who knew what he was doing, liked a certain red car. But he didn't walk over to the red car. He walked over to a different car. Immediately, the salesman came out. Ching! There is no one more alert, no one slicker than a used car salesman. He immediately said, what can I do for you, sir? My dad said, I was just passing by. In fact, I don't even really need a car. I've already got 3 or 4 at home. But I saw you might have something interesting over there, and I thought, well, I'll just go over and take a look. Meanwhile, I was thinking, what is Dad talking about? He's been telling everybody at home, and everybody knows perfectly well that he really wants to buy that car. But I kept quiet for the moment. Then my father went over to another car, and he started asking questions. What about this one? Well, I could get you behind the wheel of this one for only blah blah blah. So my father walked around and asked about several different cars before he got to the one he was really interested in. Then, without giving himself away, he said, and this one? Oh, good grief, this one is way too expensive. It's out of the question. I'm not interested. And that's when I jumped in and made a mess of things. I was 4, and I said, but Daddy, didn't you say at home that this is the car you wanted to buy? Well, the salesman saw his chance then, and said to himself, what a wise guy. Now I've got him. I think my father ended up paying a lot more for the car because he took the kid along.